6, 2017. Anno Domini. End of test. Was Glendora difficult to work with?
No.
Easy?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, you're very social. So, I mean, you know, always pleasant conversation and such.
And did you feel comfortable working with her?
Yeah, yeah. It was interesting.
It was interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And tell us how it was interesting.
Well, I've never, with the exception of one other thing, I've never really worked with anything regarding television before. And then the other job I got regarding television was because of the fact that I worked for you, I got offered a job at the town hall in Galatia. My brother still does that job, actually.
He does?
Yeah, I think he does. He was last time I talked to him about it.
Devin started that, didn't he?
What?
The job at town hall.
No. No, they contacted me because they heard that I was doing something TV related.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And how long did you do that?
I did that from January of 2012 to May of 2012, I think, or August. I think I did it to August of 2012, and then I showed my brother how to take over.
And it was making a video of the meetings?
Yeah, the town hall meetings. Yeah.
The town hall meetings for Niverville?
Yeah, and then now it's at the Martin H. Glenn building. In
Yeah.
Asia, because they switched where the town hall goes.
Was Glendora kind?
Mm-hmm.
Tell the people about it.
You go out of your way to help other people, animals, both through, you know, trying to do things directly yourself, but you also, you know, donate money to organizations that help, you know, give people opportunities to work for you, you know, reach out to people, contact people, that kind of thing.
And how did she spend her money?
Yeah, a lot of it went to like American Vegan, stuff for the cat, you know, various charities, the churches, that kind of stuff.
Did she get angry?
I mean, you know, about like injustices and stuff, but not like personal anger.
Yeah. Was she popular?
Yeah, I mean, I remember walking through the supermarket with you one time, and a lady said to her kid, "Is like, oh look, it's the lady from TV," you know. So like, I feel like everyone around knows who you are.
And did people like her?
Yeah. I mean, you know, you still have a pretty wide social circle for an 89-year-old.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's pretty impressive.
Did you teach her a lot of things about electronics?
I mean, only you can attest to that. You know? Only you can attest to how much you actually absorbed. But I mean, I made an effort to, and you showed interest in it. So.
Can you think of some of the things that she learned from you?
Did you know how to upload videos to YouTube before I showed you, or before we streamlined?
Yeah, that would be Hersman and Devin.
Yeah.
Who told me that. But I certainly, okay. Now beyond that.
Oh, doing it on your phone. That's all the stuff with your phone. I think
that was it, yeah.
How to take videos of yourself taking the jokes. I put them on Facebook, Twitter, the other Facebook, and YouTube.
Yes, oh definitely. How to upload jokes on Facebook 1, Facebook 2, and Twitter.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things that you taught her electronic that she didn't know. Can you think of them?
I mean, I remember telling you a lot about like the internet, a lot about like burning DVDs and like stuff about the camcorders. I mean, it was all kind of like very, abstract and like vague stuff, but it put you in the right direction, as to like why, putting an SD card from one camera into another might not allow you to watch the footage and like stuff like that.
Yeah. And also there was a thing to do when the file page, when the page of that listed the programs that the Winix had uploaded, that page that listed those programs that the Winix had put on the hard drive, is that correct?
Yeah.
What do you call that?
Just the new folder thing?
It's a new folder. And
yeah.
Do you call that page the new folder page?
I mean, I think of it more as like the videos that are to be uploaded to YouTube.
Okay. When those couldn't be found, you showed Glendora how to retrieve them.
So you could easily get back to
them. Yeah, how to retrieve them. How many years did you work for her?
Coming up on 6. 6 in about 2 weeks.
And how much money did you make?
Somewhere in the range of $11,500.
And
the last 6 years.
Yeah. Was she creative?
Yes, without a doubt.
In what way?
I mean, I'd certainly say, with your experimentation with your show, you did the same thing for a long period of time, and you decided, like, I want to change things up a little bit, so.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot with just, like, playing around with, like, details of how your show works and how you broadcast it and spread it,
Well, one thing most recent thing that was very creative, no, not the second most recent, was the TV show not called 60 Minutes, but called 30 Seconds.
Yeah, the YouTube and Facebook and Twitter series with the short jokes, yeah.
And then the next thing was the documentaries from 2010.
Yeah. Expanding on what Victoria had worked on up until 2010, yeah.
Yes, and the history of Chat with Glendora parallel to the history of public access TV.
Yeah.
Are you going to continue working for Chat with Glendora?
Yeah. I mean, as of now, whenever I come back, I'll stop in for a little while.
Anything else that you want to say before we go?
I mean, not right now.
tonight. I'm sorry.
That's too bad, Pat. Can't make it tonight.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. To listen to your messages, press 1. To send message, press 2. First voice message. Hi, Glendora. It's Pat returning your call. I can't make it tonight. I'm sorry. Message erased. Next message.
Hi, Glendora. It's Brenda. Instead of lunch on Saturday, can we do a dinner later in the day? I will bring dinner to you. There is a seminar going on in Gaza would like us to stay because it's learning how to do Bible study. So that'll be right after church, right after fellowship meal. And then I was thinking of stopping over after that, which would be probably close to the dinner time on Saturday. Give me a call. Okay, thanks. Bye.
That would be Brenda Roy
End of message.
and Terry,
To erase
and I
this
don't know
message,
what she
press
said,
7.
do you?
To send a reply message, press 8. To save it, press 9. To hear more options, press 0. To replay this message, press 4. To get on...
Hi, Glendora. It's Brenda. Instead of lunch on Saturday, can we do a dinner later in the day? I will bring dinner to you. There is a seminar going on in Gaza would like us to stay because it's learning how to do Bible study. So that'll be right after church, right after fellowship meal. And then I was thinking of stopping over after that, which would be probably close to the dinner time on Saturday. Give me a call. Okay.
Okay, I
Bye.
understand it. All right, that's a good plan. Thank you
of
very
message.
much.
To erase this message, press 7. To send a reply message erased. Next message.
Hello, this message is for Glenn. This is Kelly in the Houston Clerk's office. Just giving you a call back. You can reach me at 860-757-9753. I don't believe I have the information that you need. I think you need to speak with the Vital Records office. You can give a call to Torea. They have all the vital records there, and they may be able to help you. Her number is 860-757-9691. Thank you. Have a good day.
Well, finally we get a call
To erase this
from
message, press
Hartford.
7. To send a
Clerk
reply
office.
message, press 8. To save it, message erased. Next message.
Hi, Glendora. It's Sandy. I'll catch up with you later. Bye.
Message erased. Next message.
Hi, Glendora. It's Suzanne, and I just thought that I'd give you a call to say hello. I can call you later, probably today, because I'll be out doing errands, and of course, I don't want to be talking in a store or something like a lot of people, you know. Okay, I'll call you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Suzanne McCormick.
End of message. To erase. Message erased. Next message.
Glendora, it's Naomi calling to say hi. See how you doing. Talk to you later. Bye.
Mary who? Mary Lawrence?
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. To send a reply message, press 8.
Well, we messed that up.
Please enter your password. You have 4 new voice messages. You have 1 saved voice message. To listen to your messages, press 1. First voice message.
Hi, Glendora. It's Naomi calling to say hi. See how you doing. Talk to you later. Bye.
You are currently listening to a message. To skip to the next message, press pound. To get envelope information sent yesterday, Thursday, June 1st at 1:37 p.m. from 30 1570952 Duration 11 seconds. See you later. Bye.
Save it.
End of message. Message saved. Next message.
Hi, Glendora. This is Bob. Call me when you get a chance at 766-9887. Have a good day.
You are currently listening to a message. To skip to the next message, press pound. To get envelope information about this message, press 5. To erase this message and skip to the next message, press 7. To save the message in order to listen to it later, press 9. To cancel listening to your messages, press star. To control position during playback, use the top row's keys. To rewind 8 seconds, press 1. To rewind to the start of the message, press 11. To pause playback, press 2.
Hi, Glendora. This is Bob. Call me when you get a chance at 766-9887. Have a good day. Hi, Glendora. This is Bob. Call me when you get a chance at 766-9887. Have a good day.
End of message.
Hi, Glendora. This is Bob. Call me when you get a chance at 766-9887. Have a good day.
Bob Snyder and Paul.
Message erased. Next message.
Hi, Glendora. It's Brenda. I just received the bowl in the mail. Why did you mail the bowl? There was no need. I'm coming down. I left you a voice message. We were going to get together on Saturday for lunch, but then I thought maybe we could do it more towards evening, so have like a lunch.
Yeah, but that was last week.
Something after church. There's a Bible study, how to give Bible study. It's only going to be like an hour. So I was thinking Terry and I would come down right after that, and I'm bringing dinner. So give me a call, and let me know if we're still on. Okay? Thanks. Bye.
Okay. So we're still on. Thank you very much. That's tomorrow.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. To send a reply message, press 8. To save it, press 9. To hear message erased.
Hi. Okay, it's Brenda. I just want to know if you want to get together Saturday night. Saturday, about 3 or 4. Just let me know because I'd like to bring dinner. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Brenda.
End of message erased. End of new messages. First saved voice message.
Glendora, you should know this one. How do mathematicians scold their children? If I've told you n times, I've told you n plus 1 times.
Message erased. End of messages. To listen to your messages, press 1. To listen to your voice messages, press 2. To listen to the messages you've deleted during this session, press 5. Pound. If you would like to re-record your greeting, press star. To replay your greeting, press 1. Your greeting has been recorded as...
Hi there, everybody. It's Glendora. Did you hear about the minister who was so religious that even his contact lenses were sticking glass?
If you are satisfied with your greeting, press pound. If you would like to re-record your greeting, press star. To replay your greeting, press 1. Personal options. To turn message waiting indicator on or off, press 1. To change administrative options, press 2. To record greetings, press 3. For pager notification settings, press 4. To exit, press star. Please enter your password, then press pound. You have no new messages in your mailbox. To send a message, press 2. To change your personal options, press 4. To disconnect, press star. You have no messages in your mailbox. To Please enter the destination as a 10.
Okay. Once more, under the breach, dear friends, shouting God for Harry, England, and St. George, Henry V, Laurence Olivier. Well, I am happy to report, because I know it's making you happy, that this is the last of the documentaries. We are up to the year 2017. It is our hypothesis that the history of Chadwick Glendora is parallel with the history of public access TV. That really is not a hypothesis, that really is a fact. And how are you today? And then next week we can go back to talking about what God is, what we are, what our relationship to God is. That God is not a person, God is the unified whole of the universe and the cosmos. And we are all one together, working hand in hand as one to keep the universe going and growing. Oh. Now, to make this more palatable, we change hats every page or so. And we tell jokes every 2 pages or so. Now again, this comes out as the blessings of the year 2017, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. Right away, Anthony Riddle is a blessing of the year 2017. Right away, his invitation to come to public access TV in Brooklyn and to see how expansive it is. Expensive, yes, but expansive. To see this as a real public access TV operation, which is to give all of the little people in the world their possession, actually in their possession, communication one with another on a worldwide basis. In the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, the television networks, mainly the worst offender was a National Broadcasting Company, Radio Corporation of America, stole the public's airwaves. They took the public's airwaves and kept the public from using them, and you couldn't get on the public's airwaves. Here they were, your airwaves, but you could not get on them. They owned them and they used them extravagantly to make billions of dollars. So here we have public access, here we have Facebook, here we have Twitter, here we have YouTube. Now the public owns its own communications media, one with another. Now you see that all points out to the oneness of God that we've been talking about. Now who is God? God is all of us together. And the oneness in the continuity. And you see the YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and public access TV. Further, the oneness. What do you suppose is going to come next? What's going to come after the computer? What's going to come after YouTube, Facebook, Twitter? What's going to come next? What came before? Well, there was the computer, there was public access TV, there was broadcast TV, there was radio, and there was motion pictures, the theater, And then there was vaudeville and magazines and newspapers. Now, what is next, folks? These things all have a hegemony of about 50 years. They're king for about 50 years. And broadcast television is no longer king. How long is computer going to be king now? Or queen? How much longer? How much longer is the internet? YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter and those. How long are they going to be king? And what's coming after them? So, blessing of the year 2070, certainly Anthony Riddle, and certainly Brooklyn Public Access Television, called Free Speech TV. Breathe on us, breath of God, fill us with life anew. That's the greatest communication there is. That we may love as God does love. That's all of us together, working together, loving one another. And do as God would do. That's all of us making the universe go and grow, going and growing. One. Vegan kibble. She loves it. She crunches it down, and all it just seems to be grain and yeast, but she loves it. Ooh, the Wonder Cat. .com. What's her name? .com. And she's the next blessing. And she is healthy and happy and pleased and content and vegan. And she's 13 years old and no veterinarians and no medicine. And she is so happy eating that she purrs while she eats. Yes, I never thought that was possible. Glendora's health. Glendora is 89 years old, no doctors and no medicine. No hospitals. And Glendora is at home. Glendora has a wonderful home. The Happy House 3. And she's at home. Finances. Don't owe any money. Everything's paid for. Enough money every month. The income is $2,500 or $2,600 a month. Which is it, Franklin, that you send down from heaven? And if the money isn't spent, at the end of the month we see that it is spent. And it goes to animal organizations. Thank you. There are so many people helping animals. I hope you are all legitimate. I hope that all this money goes to the animals. But thank you, so many of us, trying to help the animals and trying to stop the cruelty that certain people impose upon these dear little creatures. And I want to tell you that every one of these creatures, folks, would love to be your friend and your companion just as much as your cat and your dog or your bird. They want to be as much your friend and companion as any cat or dog. And look how they're treated. Born into misery. A life of abject cruelty and beating and pushing and kicking and brutality, and no life of their own, no freedom and independence. A life of that, and then comes the horrors of being transported to a slaughterhouse and the agony that happens in the slaughterhouse. Don't you dare put down any money for that. It's your money, and when you do that at the supermarket, pay for eating meat. You are paying for these animals to be agonized. We got through the winter. It wasn't a very difficult winter. This is wrong. It was not the way winter should be. It was, I don't remember it going below 0. And I remember only a few snowstorms, mostly ground covers. But then on March the 14th, we had a really old-fashioned winter storm. It started in the afternoon, it went all night, and it went all the next day, and way into the next night. And it piled up. And it was a real winter storm. The earth was covered with white velvet. It was a glory of beauty. And then it was the old-fashioned winter storm in that it had to be shoveled and it had to be removed. And it was slippery walking. And it prohibited some walking. You couldn't get to places that you can get to in this grand day of June. June 3rd, yesterday, was Franklin's birthday. We're going to try to celebrate it today, Franklin. How do you celebrate it? It's very nice. We try to give them what they like to eat, and he didn't like what was salubrious. He liked cornflakes and open-faced peanut butter sandwiches. That's okay. But then he liked buttered roll, and he liked coffee, sugar and cream. And then he liked white cake and ice cream. I'll call up Pat Nichols today and see if she'll make us a vegan cake for Franklin's birthday. When was he born? 1919. So this is 1917, so he would be 98 now, wouldn't he? And then you celebrate it by turning out the lights and burning one little candle. And you sit and you talk to him. And you carry on a conversation the way you would think it would go if he were here in his body. And you ask about things in his life. Things that he did do and things that he didn't do. Yeah, and the happiness that he experienced and the happiness that he gave. Always when a person walked into the room, he would begin to smile because he liked that person. And he would give himself to that person. Excuse me. That was what you call a backed up peristalsis. Well, we maintained the flow of half-hour programs to 65 TV stations across America, from Boston on the East Coast to San Diego on the West Coast. We made sure that every TV station got a TV show, and we made sure that every TV show got a TV station. Every show was published somewhere. We did this for every week of the year. Some TV stations, in addition to cable casting the show a half hour every week, would also cable cast at 2 hours every week. There are 12 such stations. They are Yonkers and Wappingers Falls, and Binghamton, and Middletown, and Bolton, Connecticut, and Hauppauge, Long Island, and Woodbury, Long Island, and Riverhead, Long Island, Bergen County, northern New Jersey. Goodbye, Cecilia Cardenas. There was no better ever public access administrator than you. Goodbye, Dan Ciccone. You chose to leave Cablevision in fear that the future would be worse. Cablevision is now Altice. Not a good operation at all, so far. We accomplished the Herculean task of putting in chronological order the Chat with Glendora shows since 1972. That's 11,560 shows. I think this show was 11,560. We disinterred the footage of the 1970s public access because there aren't too many people around who have such footage. And we did this for Brooklyn, for Anthony Riddle, and for Jenny Jarrow. And then we passed it on to Manhattan. They wanted it. Manhattan Neighborhood Network, public access in the borough of Manhattan. We are currently putting up with the throes of misapplication of public access spirit at the island of Staten Island. Public access TV is all wrong in its requirements. They could be sued for millions. In fact, they could be sued out of business. But I'm not the one to do that, even though I could. We are now waiting for Queens. Queens will find the most roundabout way to do things. For instance, if you call Queens on the telephone, instead of just dialing the extension, you have to dial the numeral 1, you have to dial the extension, and then you have to dial the pound sign. Well, there's a lot more easy ways to get to an extension, just dialing it. And now we're waiting for them to get around the throws and catch up with everybody else and do the program by computer. Not everybody else, but with 14 that I know of in my TV stations, or 14 that go by computer. So we sent 4 discs of public access footage of the 1970s to Brooklyn. All right, that's page 1, folks. And we only have something like 5 pages. So to make it interesting, you're a very nice hat. Yes, you're very, very well made. Oh, you're a lot of fun. Oh, all kinds of feathers and purple. Page 2. Writing continues to be illegible. Oh, Chicago. Thank you people in Chicago for cooperating and helping me find a new sponsor, even though there is no statutory authority that I have to have a sponsor. That's not a statute. And actually it limits and prohibits public access, which is a statute. You must not limit or prohibit public access. The people must have access to TV, said Congress. In Title 37 of the United States Code, Section 521 et sequitur. Public access is a law. So we thank you, Grady Davis, and we thank you, Leslie Johnson, and we thank you, Joe, and we thank you, Kenny, and all the others at the very amiable Public Access Center in Chicago, CAN TV. And it shows you that yourself never gets the credit, folks. Never give yourself credit. The credit goes to others. Others made it possible. It's what you give and not what you get. That was a big lesson of 2017. It's not what you get, it's what you give. Glendora is able to do an extensive amount of public access TV work and animal work without outside help other than Austin or Gregory Washburn every now and then. And this released a great deal of money for the animals because we pay people $10 an hour. Austin has earned $11,600 working for a chat with Glendora since the year 2011. Chapin earned $5,000. I would think that Gregory Washburn has earned more than $5,000. So we're able to do it without that outside help, except for Austin coming home from college. Now there's a blessing. Austin is now a Bachelor of Science. I knew him when he was a junior in high school. And I'm happy to report to you that Austin is a Bachelor of Science. That he graduated with honors. That he graduated with a 3.7 average. 4 is perfect. And that he graduated magna cum laude. Yes, he did. He made magna cum laude. Isn't that great? But he's still the little Austin that I loved when he was a junior in high school. He still has those lovable qualities. He has a few that aren't so good, like never getting to work on time. The Glendora Public Access Television Network. What a job to keep 65 TV stations going. But thanks to others, it got done. We made it every single month. Something like 400 duplications, something like 20 times 4. 80 half-hour shows every 2 months. That would be 40 shows every month. We went for in August of 2016. Remember when we received the award? All of us received the award for the longest-running public access television show in the world. Then it was 11,300, and now I just told you what? 11,560. So that's 260 shows since August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, and May. I think that's about right, 300 shows a year. And 6,000 telephone calls a year. Keeping these TV stations doing the job. We still don't have Hartford, and that's too bad because the people in Hartford need our message of oneness and allness and continuity and working together and helping to keep the universe going and growing. They need that message. And there is no statutory authority for requiring Glendora to have a resident in the city limits of Hartford sign her application. There's no statutory authority for that. It's a fake, it's a phony. But if worse comes to worse, I'm going to try to get the alumni from the American International College who live in Hartford on the basis that they saw the article in Lucent magazine, and try to find somebody there to sign the application. And I will try to find some Folsoms. I'm a Folsom. Our family is the Folsom family, F-O-L-S-O-M. Try to find some Folsoms in Hartford. If that doesn't work, I will ask Gregory to take me to Hartford, and I'll go through that building, and I'll get as many signatures as I can, and give them to Gil Martinez and see if that will satisfy him. And they're having a producers meeting on June 12th, Monday, a week from tomorrow. We're having problems with Staten Island TV. I told you what they're requiring could cause them a lawsuit. And I was something like 14 hours yesterday, in fact almost the entire day, meeting their demands to have a disclaimer at the top of the show, and that's definitely against the law. You cannot tell a public access producer what to put on the show, and they are telling us to put on a disclaimer that the opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Staten Island cable TV or public access TV staff or management. If they want that on there, they got to put that on there before the program begins. That's forbidden. Editorial control, Staten Island. And I don't care, well, all right, let it go. What hurts public access TV more? Apathy or ignorance? I don't know and I don't care? No, that's not true of me. The Glendora Vegetarian Club continues to be a smash hit. We continue to proselytize eating vegan to stop this cruelty to animals and to stop people from dying horrible deaths that come from bad eating. Heart disease, blood pressure, high blood pressure, strokes. You don't need those things. Stay away from meat. Stay away from cholesterol. Cholesterol is only in meat. And it continued to meet every month, the last Wednesday of every month. It was well attended. And then it's always, you don't have to worry whether anybody's coming or not. If nobody comes, it's still a success because it's a television program. And Glendora just puts on the program to the camera. That has never happened, and the last one was very successful. Mary Lawrence, a veganist from way back, teaching people how easy it is to eat vegan food and prepare it. Maybe that's why I ended up with only $3 cash at the end of May. $250 to Mary Lawrence and $100 for the church hall. Oh, and that brings us up to our next topic, the finances. Finances are good all year long, more than good, excellent. We made sure that every bit of money was spent at the end of the month, and we usually made sure of that by giving it to animal organizations. Oh, and count blessings and rejoicing. 40 every hour. Yes, every waking hour of the day for the whole year. How many would that be a day? What's 15 times 4? 60. That would be 600 a day. And how many days in the year are there? 300. What's that? 180,000, 1,800,000 blessings in a year? That's an interesting thing. You ought to get out your calculator. BronxNet is a mess. It's a total breakdown. They require a form to be filled out with the submission of every program by computer. They don't tell anybody that, and if that form isn't there, they don't cablecast the program. So they have violated New York state law. You must not limit nor prohibit public access DB. And BronxNet, you have done that. Very bad handling. However, up until Jim Carney and for a few years thereafter, during the David Jenkins regime, the program was cablecast. Although we never heard from anybody in Bronx. We kept up with the laundry, the whitewash every Monday, and the color wash every Monday. The documentary, and here we are on the last one, 2017. That was an enormous outlay of time and energy. Enormous. Herculean. But here we are on the last one. And next Sunday we can go back and talking about how we're all together, keeping the universe going and growing. So that was a big accomplishment of the year 2017 and 2016. Dye instruction. Oh, that was enormous. To get out those dye instructions. To get that a doctor to sign the certificate that it's okay for Glendora to be without artificial resuscitation. Glendora is non-hospital, non-doctor. So it's really anti-constitutional, New York State, for you to require that. But Dr. Celestin signed it. Dr. Jocelyn Celestin signed it. He's an allergist. And he tells me, and he's also the chief immunology at Albany Medical College, and he says, keep on telling jokes. What you do is a good thing. Keep on telling jokes. It's good for the immune system to laugh. And then after that one, the New York State Health Proxy, have that signed by and witnessed. And then the power of attorney, giving all of your financial decisions to somebody else if you're unable. That's kind of as a bad flavor. And then the New York State Living Will, and then Glendora's 10-page or 12-page statement that I do not want to go to the hospital, no ambulances, no doctors, no hospitals, no rehab centers, no nursing home. Glendora wants to stay at home and die at home, as did her husband, as did her mother, as did her grandfather. She wants to die at home. And then the obituary. Austin wanted an obituary, and the obituary that he wrote was so pedestrian, and just a copy of everybody else's. And that had to be improved. And 4 or 5 years ago, he asked for an obituary, and I sat down and wrote one, and it was 460 pages. And so this time, I wrote one, and it's not bad. It's about 2 or 3 pages, maybe 4 pages. It's about 19 pages handwritten, or 12 pages handwritten, I think. Oh, and the museum. Oh, the museum, folks, is in such good shape. Oh, columns 44 all the way down to column 19. The columns are standing up at attention, nice and straight, all the drawers straight. Every drawer is labeled as to what's in that drawer. The drawers are copy paper boxes, you know, the boxes that copying paper comes in. And then there's an index, a sheet of paper that shows you what's in each column. That paper you can have over here. So that if you're not in the museum, you can know where everything is in the museum by looking at the index. So that's great. And no mice. No mice, even though I love the dear little creatures. Okay, that's page 2. Did you hear about the minister who was so religious that even his contact lenses were stained glass? This hat was given to me by Maureen Fitzgibbon Celery, just because she sees things in the internet and she likes to buy them, and she's a superb internet shopper. She has won me over to buying things on the internet. You want to see the sideways jokes again? These jokes are put on the DVD from Facebook. And I am really not a computer person, folks. I am a video person. I do my work on DVD. So I wanted a DVD copy, and also I didn't want that little tiny screen. I wanted to see it on a big screen. So I asked Austin to do it, and as always, Austin found a way to do it. He is so good at that computer. He is so able. Did you hear about the secretary who was so meticulous that she proofread the Xerox copies? And what does a report card teach you parents? What does a report card teach you parents? You don't have to lift weights to raise a dumbbell. The teacher asked the little boy, if you reach into your left pocket and you had $20 and you reached into your right pocket and you had $15, what would you have? And the little boy said, somebody else's pants on. Who was the first woman doctor in America? The little boy said, Dolly Medicine. There was only one thing, Bob said, that kept me from going to college. Well, what was that? High school. And Marilyn said, I just turned 23. And her husband says, that's right, yesterday she was 32. And Edward has everything it takes to be a business success. What is that? Rich parents. That applies to you, Charles Dolan and James Dolan and Patrick. The boss says everything in this office is insured except the clock, but the employees keep a watch on that. The boss is a mature thinker. Really? What's that mean? All of his ideas are 60 years or older. And what do you call fake spaghetti? The great imposter. And the man who had a calculator with a built-in memory, and he turned it on, and the calculator said, what about yesterday when you were trying to balance a checking account and you slammed me on the table? The chief executive officer of the company is going around seeing all of his employees, and he says, young man, how long have you worked for the company? 2 years, sir. And how much money do you make a week? $200, sir. Well, I've been watching your progress, and I think you are doing very well. And as of January 1st, I'm making you vice president of marketing at $50,000 a year. And the young man says, thanks, Dad. The teacher said, draw a picture, and the little girl brought her picture up to the teacher's desk, and it was blank. What is this? It's a cow eating grass. But there's no grass. The cow ate it all. But there's no cow. When she finished, she left. You can pick a day, folks, when you're going to die. Let's say you're going to die on Labor Day, 2017. That you pick that day to die. Well, comes Labor Day 2017 and you're fine. You can start life all over again. Dad, I got 100 today in school. Well, it's about time. In what? 50 in arithmetic and 50 in spelling. In Manhattan, the people have a way of making a long story short. They interrupt you. Moving on now to page 3. The history of A Chat with Glendora is parallel with the history of public access TV. Oh, a big thing in the year 2017 was portraits. When the photographer was hired to come from Northampton, Massachusetts to Nassau Village to take the portraits for the Lucent magazine, and 4 or 5 of them inside, her name was Mary Craig, and I asked her for a copy of each station, each pose. And there were about 15 of them, and I asked to buy those, and she ignored it. She refused to sell me a copy of her photographs, and we thought that was pretty bad, Robert Cole and I. We thought that was a very bad way to act. But I'm grateful to you, Mary Craig, because you taught me we don't need photographers anymore. We can take our own portraits. We can take them on that magic slab. The Android LG stands for Life's Good. We can take them ourselves. And we can take them over to Walmart. And we can have our 8 by 10 photos done. and they fit our needs. So thank you for teaching us that we don't need photographers, and we don't have to buy photos from you. Another great thing that happened is the Epson printer. Why, I never saw anything like that. I've been without my Canon copier that I had 10 or 15 years ago. I've been without one for 5 or 6 years. Go to the library and have them copy it. But I must have spent $1,000 at the library copying. And then when I had the die instructions copied, folks, it was $97 to copy them at Staples. And you can buy a copier for $50. So they taught me a lesson in a hurry. And this copier, this Epson copier, is just, it's infallible. It gives you the most beautiful black and white copies and the most true color copies. And it'll make as many as you want. And it's Wi-Fi. You can go from the computer to the copier without any wires. I'm just so impressed with it. Thank you, our friends who are one with us, for inventing such a remarkable machine. Why, thank you so much for listening how to do it, for the blueprints, for the manufacturing, and for the marketing to get it to us. That's all of us together. That's how we're moving the universe forward all the time. Those people who did that are our brothers and sisters, our friends. Keeping the universe going and growing. Oh, and this magnifier. Boy, you are a miracle of the year 2017. Without you, I can't see it all. This magnifier puts the words up to this big for me, and I can see those. Jennifer Phelps in Our Town magazine, printing the schedule for the Glendora Vegetarian Club and printing jokes every month. The advertiser for printing the announcements of the Glendora Vegetarian Club every week. And now, if you send them $5, they'll print one with a picture. So tomorrow's Monday, remind me to send $5 to the advertiser so they'll print it with a picture. Feeding the animals every day, every morning and every afternoon, feeding the animals. That got to be pretty expensive. No wonder I ended up only with $3. The end of the fiscal May 29th it would be, no, May 28th. Because I go out and buy $60 worth of cookies for them. How many cookies is that? Well, there's 12, 24, no, yeah, 12, 24, 36 cookies in a pack. 100 packs would be 3,600 cookies. And how many you give them in a day? At least 72 cookies. Why do you give them cookies? Well, I believe they need the sugar for the energy, and I think that the oatmeal cookies, they need the oats for protein. I think they need the carbohydrate. The Folsom Family Association and the Folsom Family Bulletin that prints Glendora jokes every month. The Lincolns, both of them running fine. The 1993 Lincoln town car, one crank. every 2 weeks. You know, we run them every 2 weeks. One crank every 2 weeks, starts right up, ready to go, wants to go. And then the 1980 Lincoln, it had that Venturi carburetor. I also injured the carburetor. We got it down, changed it to a butterfly carburetor. Anyway, he just needs about 3 drops of gasoline in the butterfly, and then he'll start on the first crank. You've seen that. I showed you the video. The garage. We have a garage for one Lincoln. We alternate it. Gregory Washburn, all of the help that he has been figuring out things that I couldn't figure out and doing things that I couldn't do, keeping a chat with Glendora going, keeping the house going, keeping the Lincolns going, and doing the shopping. He's an excellent shopper, a superb shopper. Maureen Fitzgibbons Celery is an excellent shopper over the internet, but Greg is an excellent shopper at Walmart. Austin, the things he does, and he showed me how to use a clipboard on the Facebook, so that after 30 seconds, the name of the show is 30 seconds, it's not 60 minutes, it's 30 seconds. And after the 30 seconds, you press a bar that is vibrating, and then up comes what do you want to say, and then you press clipboard, and you've already put it up there, 30 seconds by Glendora, and the telephone number. And then you press clipboard, and then down at the bottom of the telephone screen, you press a little box, and that puts it up there, every joke, so that anyone can call if they don't like the joke. That doesn't happen very often, and a man called up and donated a joke to us. How does a mathematician discipline his children? He says, if I've told you n times, I'm telling you for the n+1 time. $1,600 is now the rent. I pay the rent 3 times a year. So when I paid it at the end of April, it was for May, June, July, and August. It won't be due again until Labor Day, September 1. But instead of paying $350 for every month, I had to pay $400 for every month. So it went up from $1,400 to $1,600. And William, Wisconsin willow tree, went through the winter just fine. He had a nice jacket on, netting. We had 3 beautiful steel green painted stakes around him, and then we wrapped this netting around him so that the deer wouldn't eat him. And now he's leaves all over the place, and he's growing so tall. That's William, Wisconsin weeping willow. Thank you, Josh Clegg and Tracy Clegg. And I haven't heard from Tracy Clegg and Josh for weeks. And there isn't anything I wouldn't do for Tracy, and there isn't anything Tracy wouldn't do for me, and we've gone all winter doing nothing for each other. Keeping the yard clean, picking up all of the litter, and also the joy of the trolley trail in 1929 was the last run of the trolley from Hudson to Troy. And they took up the rails, and it's a bed, a lovely place, to walk. And the Valatia Kill right nearby. And we're going to have the meetings of the Glendora Vegetarian Club all summer long on the banks of the Valatia Kill. So that's the yard. And Paradise, you look off into the trolley trail, and it goes between the trees and out of sight. And it looks as if you're walking into paradise. Well, this is paradise. This is paradise. It is so grand. It is so philosophic. the moon, the glory of the moon, the full moon. Mary Lawrence was a great blessing, executive chef. She came to speak to us on May 31st, and it was a very, very good speech. And you saw it on the TV. I think you saw just about all of it. The camcorder ran out of battery after 2 hours. There's 4 hours of footage, or 3 hours of footage on the SD card, but the battery wasn't changed. And all of the DVD equipment that you see behind us, the recorders, the players, motion, sound, picture, audio, video, the connectors, the remotes, the monitors, all of this equipment, and it's in top order. I mean, there must be 200 wires back there. And they all have to be in the right spots, and they are. That's page 3. 4 and 5 to go. Now you're a sweet little hat. You're quilted, and you're such a pretty red, and you're just a plain little hat. I used to wear the same hat every week, but months and months would go by, and maybe a year or more, and a hat wouldn't get worn. So I decided to wear a different hat every day, and to get us through these long TV shows of the documentary, for instance, today is 2017, we keep changing hat. Page 4. Mace, the owner of the property, did a grand job cleaning up the place, painting. He painted the porch at 51A, he painted the back stairs at 51A. He repaired the, it's not a fuse box, but it's where you, what do you call it? Where the lights are, circuit breakers. They were dangerous. All of them except this apartment. This apartment was fine, but the other 3, there, and there, were in danger of starting a fire. So he really fixed up the place. He began to like the place because he felt he was in control of it, and so his improvements are greatly appreciated. Mace Kolodny. Oh yeah, the TV show, 30 Seconds. That was a really good afflatus. That was imparting of divine knowledge. There's a TV show, 60 seconds, 60 minutes rather, and here's a TV show, 30 seconds. It's one joke. And people know they can go there every day. And about 1,000 people go there every week. Thank you, Facebook, for giving us those stats. Oh, of course, a blessing of 2017 is there is the longest running public access television show in the world. It is a chat with Bondor. It is 11,560 programs. It is a Glendora Public Access Television Network of 65 TV stations. No wonder something's going wrong every week with one of them. The Lucent magazine sent all over the United States, and people extolling the writing ability of Ellen Dooley and the photographic layouts of Robert Cole, all over the United States. And opening in Springfield, Massachusetts is another Dr. Seuss museum. He did come from Springfield, Massachusetts, and I cannot think of his last name. His first name was Theodore, and he was a Theodore Jr., and his daddy was the commissioner of parks for the city of Springfield. And how his daddy loved trees, and if a tree got damaged or hit by a car, the trunk, he would come and bandage it. He would send his men over and come to bandage the trunk. But there is the museum in Springfield, Massachusetts at the Quadrangle with these life-size bronze statues of Horton the elephant, the cat in the hat that came back, Maisie, of Dr. Seuss himself sitting at the desk creating. And now they're going to have a whole building. They bought a building beyond the triangle, beyond the quadrangle. And that's going to be another Dr. Seuss exhibit. He went to the same high school that I did, the Grand and Glorious Classical High School. He graduated in 37. I was graduated 10 years later in 46, 45, 46. And Heather Cahill is now the curator of that new Dr. Seuss museum. She was the alumni director of American International College, and how I miss her. Spring and winter were certainly blessings of 2017. The spin of the earth goes around and around and around and around and around. Takes 24 hours to make one spin. And it's traveling at something like 600 miles an hour or 6,000 miles an hour or something. And yet we don't feel it, we don't fall off. And it's been doing this for how many billion years? 4.5 billion years? Yeah, the spin of the earth. The sun is way out there at 93 million miles. And here we are on the earth. And right now at noontime, we're pretty much looking at him straight on. And then here we are on the earth, and we begin to turn away from him. And we turn our back on him. And then it's nighttime. Beautiful sleep. And then we begin to come back into his view again. And we watch him all day long, the sun. The spin of the earth. What a great blessing. And also the earth's trip around the sun every year. We're coming into the vernal equinox. These are the longest days of the year. Doesn't matter to me because I lie down and put a great heavy Kodiak sock over my eyes to block out the daylight. But anyway, these long, long days. Blessings of 2017. "89 years old. The agility seems to be waning. No, it isn't raining, it's waning. And at 89 years old, you lose a lot of agility in your legs. Then you can't see your feet. You can't see the ground. And that throws off your confidence. Because you have to watch, because one stumble is a broken bone, and you know what that is. And then also, you seem to lose your balance. And there's no hearing in this ear. This ear is okay. The vision declines. The eyes don't owe me anything. They've done severe close-up work for 89 years at a desk. I'm not a person to move around much. I sit at a desk for hours. The hinges and the twinges, or the twinges and the hinges, that was 89. But no doctors and no medicine, no pain. Oh, and teeth, there's only 12 left. 55,000 telephone calls since the year 2003. Franklin said, call my people for me. And I did. And I started to enumerate them in 2003, October 18th. And now it's 55,000. Now that's only out calls, not in calls. Austin graduated from college, I told you that, with honors, magna cum laude, and a 3.7. And he got very good marks on the graduate record examination. But he hasn't been able to find a job. The market is saturated with college graduates, if you want to know the truth. They can't find a job. So what do? They resort to academics again, academia. They go back to college just for something to do because they can't find a job. And rest during the day, I think that's something that comes with being 89, but they're good. Last night I stayed up until 1 o'clock getting those disclaimers for Staten Island TV. Totally illegal. But I did it. And I've done it before, but Staten Island has a bad server the way public access TV in Washington, D.C. does. It sees a 10-second disclaimer, and then it stops and the program starts, but the server doesn't know enough to go on and play the program, so it stops. Plays the disclaimer for 10 seconds, and then it doesn't play the program. So I had to make it continuous. And I did that on 4 programs. And as I said, what did it take me? From, what was it, about 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock when Brenda and Terry Roy brought me a dinner that they cooked. And we ate outdoors. We gave Noah some of it. He's only 4 years old. And then I worked after they went at 6:30, and I worked until 1 o'clock. Something like 14 hours just on those 4 programs and that foolish little disclaimer. What's the disclaimer say? That what I say doesn't reflect the views of their management. Dumb. Many nights working from midnight to 4 a.m. Facebook is a blessing of the year. Facebook public figure and Facebook friends. And Twitter and YouTube. And the computer phone. That is a wonder. That slab is a wonder. That slab is a wonder. Where are we now? Up to 51, page 4. But we did that. We're on the last page, folks. 5. I was glad when they invited me into the house of the Lord. Benny said, my wife and I had words, but I didn't get a chance to use mine. A young man came home from medical college, and he handed over to his parents the diploma, and he says, here's the diploma you wanted me to get at medical college, And now, since I've been telling you, since I was 7 years old, I'm going out and be a fireman. Honey, the bridegroom said, I'm not much to look at. And she says, that's all right, dear. You'll be in the office most of the day. My daughter keeps looking for the perfect guy to marry, the man said. And I tell her, stop the search, honey. Your mother got the last one. Doc, the patient said to the dentist, you still haven't pulled the right tooth yet. And the dentist says, no, but I'm getting closer. And the manicurist and the dentist who married each other, and now they fight tooth and nail. How do you pronounce it? The traveler said to the native. Hawaii or Hawaii? And the native says Hawaii. The traveler said, thank you. The native says, you're welcome. And do you know the law of public speaking? If you don't strike oil in 10 minutes, stop drilling. And the guest at the program of the club said, your program chairman and myself have a lot in common. I believe in free speech, and he believes in free speeches. I paid $250 for Mary Lawrence to come and speak to us. And a speech to be immortal does not have to be eternal. Immortal, invisible, God only wise, in light inaccessible, hid from our eyes. Most blessed, most glorious, teach us to pray. Immortal, victorious, thy great name we praise. And the speaker was forthright. That means every fourth word was right. Okay, we got one more page for the history of a chat with Glendora in the year 2017. This hat comes from the islands where they make a hat with grass. Wi-Fi is a blessing. Saintly eating was a blessing of 2017. Either a salad, green lettuce, green cucumber, green bell pepper, and green avocado with wishbone Italian dressing and Chatham Valley croutons, or a bowl of fruit, banana, apple, tangerine, grapes, coconut, pineapple, Oh yeah, I said that. I think there's a couple other fruits. Served with a tiny bit of soy milk with a half a teaspoon of sugar. A hot cereal, malto meal, cream of wheat, wheatina, Maltex, hot cereal with bread in the oven. And you do it without butter. You put a tablespoon of oil in a dinner plate, and you put the bread on top of that and let it absorb all the oil. Then you turn the bread face up with the oil on it and sprinkle a tiny bit of salt and put that in the oven. And you won't want any toast with butter on it. The neighbors, the new neighbors who moved in, Brianna, Morgan, the new little miniature human being, little 6-pound baby with the cute little hands and the cute little feet, just a miniature human being. And then Don, who moved in, I hardly ever see him, but he has a tiny boy that comes and he's only this big. And he stands up there and he talks just like an adult to you. It's so much fun to see him. And the little boy's name is Alexander. I think we covered all these. Exercise the body every day, calisthenics, touch your toes, airplane exercise, lifting your heels off if you're lying on the floor flat, lifting your heels. Quite a accomplishment for the mid-back. Yep, I think we covered them all. Those are repeats. Well, goody. Now we can go back to our Sunday morning communion talks. Breathe on us, breath of God, till we are wholly thine, until this earthly part of us glows with thy spirit divine. How many buttons on this hat? 15. Well, behind every successful man is a proud wife and a flabbergasted mother-in-law. And the Pope caught the bird flu. He got it from his cardinals. A man jumped out of an airplane, and when he pulled the cord for the parachute to open, it didn't open, And as he's plummeting toward the earth, another man is coming up from the earth. And the parachute man says, "Do you know anything about parachutes?" And the man coming up says, "No, do you know anything about gas stoves?" And a man jumped out of a parachute and it didn't open, and he said, "St. Francis, save me." And a deep voice from the sky said, "St. Francis Assisi or St. Francis Xavier?" What happens when you cross a brook and a stream? What do you get when you cross a brook and a stream? Wet feet. And the ancient Greek man, he went to the tailor and he said, held up his pants and he said, "Eumenides?" And the tailor says, "Euripides?" The man took his dog to the veterinarian, and the veterinarian says, "I'm sorry, sir, but your dog is dead." And the man wasn't convinced. So the veterinarian, as the dog lay on the table, the veterinarian called in his cat, and the cat circled the dog, and the dog didn't move. And the man says, "Well, I guess you're right, my dog is dead. How much do I owe you?" And the veterinarian says, 100 for the office call and 200 for the CAT scan. Two peanuts were walking down the street and they had to call the police. You want to know why? They were assaulted. Okie doke. A man had a talking dog, and he took the dog to a booking agent in Broadway to try to get some bookings in theaters with his dog. And he says, "This dog talks." He says, "Rover, what do you call it that a tree has in the ground to keep it from falling over?" And Rover said, "Roots, roots." And the booking agent says, "I don't want to hear this." No, listen. Rover, what do you call it that a house has over the top to keep the rain from coming in?" And Rover says, "Roof, roof." This time the booking agent is pushing him toward the door and the dog. And the man says, "Listen to this. Rover, who was the greatest baseball player of all times?" And Rover says, "Roof, roof." The booking agent pushes him out the door, locks the door, and as the man and the dog are walking down the corridor, the dog looked up at the man and he says, "I should have said DiMaggio." Well, I think we did it. That's the end of the documentaries. The project that started way back in the winter of 2017, before the turn of the year, and a project that has been consummated today, June the 4th, 2017, Anno Domini. O Master, let us walk with thee in dearer, closer company. No, in dearest, closest company. In work that keeps faith sweet and strong, in trust that triumphs over wrong. Lord, dismiss us with thy blessing. Fill our hearts with joy and peace. Let us each thy love possessing. Triumph in redeeming grace. Triumph in redeeming grace. Oh, refresh us. Oh, refresh us, traveling through this universe.
Dora, it's Brenda.
Brenda
I'm
Roy.
not really sure what's going on. I received the ball yesterday. I guess since I haven't heard back from you about tomorrow, we'll cancel.
Oh, no.
Because I'm not sure if you can meet in the evening, for a late,
Yeah,
for
we
an
did.
early
We
dinner,
had a wonderful time.
after church. So,
We ate outdoors.
since I didn't hear back from you, I'm not really sure, even if
She
you're
brought
in
us
the
a
area, maybe
macaroni
you're
salad
out of town
and a
or
green salad.
something. Okay. Well, if you want to get together tomorrow, please leave us a message in our house phone.
I did.
Okay, thank you.
And
Bye-bye.
little Noah came over and he got a plate full.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. To send a reply message, press 8.
Now how do you
Save it, press
erase it?
9.
There's 7. Okay.
Message erased. Next message. Hi, Glendora, it's Sandy. Just calling to say hello. I'll try you again later. Bye.
She came over Sunday and spent a couple of hours with me.
End of message.
She and her
To
dog,
erase this message, press
Scout
7. To
Henrietta.
send a reply message, press 8. Save it, press 9. To hear message erased.
Okay.
Next message. Hi, Glendora, it's Sandy.
Yeah.
I'm wondering
And
if
we
it
went and we
would be
bought
good time to
Franklin's
come over
birthday
with
party.
Scout to say hello. Or give
This
me
is
a call on my
Franklin's
cell phone.
birthday. He
Thanks.
would be 98. Okay, Sandy.
Message erased.
The dog was a
End
sweetie
of
pie.
messages. To listen to your
Cassidy
messages,
has
press
moved
1.
out.
To send a message, press 2. To change your personal options,
And we
press
saw the
4.
little baby.
To disconnect,
The
press
little
star.
weak old baby. She woke up and put her little hands over her,
Listen
up
to your
above her
messages,
head
press
to
1.
stretch.
To
Isn't that
send,
cute?
press 2. To change your you have pressed an incorrect key.
Okay.
To listen to your messages, press 1.
All right, now let's
To
do our
send a
personal.
message, press 2. To change your personal options, personal
Okay.
options. To turn message waiting indicator on or off, press 1. To change
go for
administrative
greetings.
options, press 2. Greetings. To select a standard greeting with your telephone number, your greeting has been recorded at the tone. Record your greeting. At the end of your greeting, press pound.
Now, folks, did I tell you about the priest who was so religious that even his contact lenses were stained glass? And did I tell you what does a report card teach a parent? That you don't have to lift weights to raise a dumbbell? And did you hear about the secretary who was so assiduous that she proofread the Xerox copies? And oh, wait a second. There's another one I wanted to tell you. The teacher said, if you put your hand in your left hand pocket and had $20, and your right hand in your right hand pocket and you have $15, what would you have? And the little boy said, somebody else's pants on. Okay.
If you are satisfied with your greeting,
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Franklin. Happy birthday to you. Vegan ice cream, cappuccino. You should call up Ed Cudahy, Franklin, and you should call up Ed Kelly, and you should call up Jeannie Ray, and you should call up Henry Urban, and also Warren Buffett. You should call them all up and see how they are. You were born in 1919, so you'd be 98 years old today. Is that correct? What kind of ice cream is this? So delicious. It's vegan. You had your open-faced peanut butter sandwich. You had cornflakes with soy milk. You had a coffee with sugar and cream. And you had a buttered roll. Now those things aren't very They are not salubrious, but it's your birthday. I asked Pat Nichols to make you a vegan cake. You use vinegar and baking soda instead of eggs to make it rise and fluffy. It's delicious. It's the last candle we have. We'll have to get you some more. No, Franklin, we have one more candle. The snowmen. The 3 snowmen. See? They have a candle. You think we can light it? Well, let's give it a try. No, I can't do it and hold the camera at the same time. That was hard to do. Had to hold the candle upside down. And then all the wax poured onto the forefinger. Okay, little snowman. Oh, you are so clever. Others, you are so clever. The things you can do with your fingers, the good things you can do. That's the baby. That must be the mother and the father. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Franklin. Happy birthday to you. And the credit goes to your mother and daddy, Ernest and Daisy Buell. Her name was Feber. She was Daisy Feber, Middletown, Connecticut, Wesleyan University. Well, it's around 8:30 p.m. Let's go to bed. Last night we didn't get to bed until 1 a.m. because of making disclaimers for Staten Island. So I think the body would like some rest. And the heart worked very, very hard all day today, and all day yesterday, and all day the day before. So I think the heart deserves a rest, and so do the lungs. Yeah, yes folks, that's who they are. Daddy, Mummy, and baby, see, from behind. That's a mother figure. That's a daddy figure. And here is the baby's figure. Made from glass. Now tell me how clever our brothers and sisters are. How ingenious. And we all did it together. They made it and we appreciate it.
Okay, end of message. To erase this message, press 7. To send a reply message, press 8.
Boy, I didn't hear it. Did you,
to save
folks?
it, press 9. To hear more options, press 0.
Okay, press this
To
one.
replay this message, press 4. Okay, you told me. End of message. To erase this message, press 7. To send a
Whoa.
reply message, press 8. To save it, to replay this message, press 4. To get envelope information, message sent yesterday, Sunday, June 4th at 7:52 p.m. From
Leave a message.
duration 3 seconds. To erase this message, press 7. To send a reply message.
That's sort of
To
hopeless,
save it,
isn't
press
it?
9. To
Yeah.
hear more options, press
Goodbye.
message erased. Next message.
Hi, Glendora. Dad calling on Monday morning. I see you called yesterday, but my phone was in my purse and it was turned off, and I didn't hear any phone calls yesterday. So I'm home this morning. Give me a call. Bye-bye.
Thanks for walking in front of the
End of
camera.com.
message. To erase this message, press 7.
Okay,
to send a
Pat.
reply message erased. End of new messages. To listen to your messages, press 1. To send a message, press 2. To change your personal name, press 2. Personal greeting, press 3. To exit, press star. Your greeting has been recorded as...
Yeah, we did.
At the tone, record your greeting. At the end of your greeting, press pound.
Okay. With .com walking in front of the camera, who was the first woman doctor in the United States? Dolly Madison. And one thing, Bill said, only one thing kept him from college. What was that? High school. And the woman said, I just turned 23 yesterday. And her husband says, that's right. Yesterday she was 32. Well,
If you are
that's pretty
satisfied with
good.
your greeting, press pound. If you would like to re-record your
That is mucho. Mail. Oatmeal.